long hood, short deck, where the driver's his butt is almost on the rear wheel, right? So it's a very extreme proportion. And then you take some of the things that have always been part of the Viper, is that Coke bottle shape. In this car, my favorite's the 96 coupe. I really still like that, the look of the spotting. So we try to take some of those elements and bring them back to it. We make it very presentable. So a lot of the details in the car really have a lot to do with it. The cooling requirements for the vehicle, the fact that the unit is so long, sets up the visibility. A lot of it, because the car is made of carbon fiber, you don't have to worry so much about shape. A lot of people realize metal is very difficult to shape. So when you work with composites, carbon fiber, you can do anything you want, just about. So that's why it's such exotic shape. So we take advantage of that. So we start with the hood. It's really kind of modeled after the human body. There's a lot of beautiful positives, negatives, and then further dips. So when you're driving the car, it looks like you're looking down somebody's back, where your spinal column is. It's very sensuous shape. A lot of built-in aerodynamic treatment to the whole front end. We learned a lot through our ACR program. Doing the splitter on the front of the vehicle, we actually integrated that into the design this time. So the front fascia actually creates what we call negative lift. It actually creates a little bit of downforce at high speeds. The car can do well over 200 miles an hour, but the big deal is being stable at that speed. Any car could go, if you make it slippery enough, you can do that, but you have to compromise using drag as downforce. So done there. Not one more ounce of cooling than you need, because too much opening actually hurts the top speed. And then this is actually functional to create the pocket of air. It kind of vents the air out of the wheel. It helps cooling, but also relieves pressure. These are functional as well. This is actually from our racing program. We learned that there's a lot of negative pressure here. As the wind goes over, it actually sucks air from behind the radiator. It helps cooling. It also relieves pressure and keeps the nose from lifting at high speed.
You also added LEDs.
Yeah. One of the things I love about this generation is we went back to the fundamental. At car shows like this, it's one of the funnest things is to kind of show off the engine. Right?
Of course, that's why we're here.
So we had a fun time. Our designers and engineers got together and actually worked a lot on the styling of even the underhood. Right? So we call this thing Spidey. It's actually a very functional part of the vehicle. It's a stabilizer for the whole front end. The whole suspension is so far away from the center of the car that it's very vulnerable to twisting. So by adding these braces, again, lessons learned from our LMS racing back in the day, and also our ACRX program and our Compute program, by stiffening that dramatically.
What's up, man? What's the deal, bro? Chilling, man.
So it'd be ugly if we just had a bunch of bumps. So we actually went after it.
What you doing out here, man?
Styled it.
Yeah, like the first time I've seen you since like 1979, man.
Composite manifold versus aluminum. Took a lot of weight out, but also helped the flow. So we have much better flow into the engine bed. The engine's lighter by about 25 to 26 pounds fully dressed, thanks to the aluminum flywheel, the manifold, and actually optimizing the block. Even though it's still a V10, the block is brand new. We optimized cooling passages, strengthening the block, and also went back to forged pistons, which a lot of tuners will love. So the engine's very robust and is really open to the future. Leave it at that.
Can't say much more. Right?
So this whole, you can see how light the hood is.
Yeah.
It's a little wiggly, and that's normal for a carbon fiber, but once it's set down, it actually stiffens up when it's located. So it's very light. One of the heaviest parts of the car can be the hood. Very light there. Cockpit, so styling, this door is actually the only metal car. This and the sill are made out of aluminum.
That's one of those one.
Yeah, the reason we aluminum is for strength, but also for weight. It's a new process called superformed aluminum. It's to heat it, before you stamp it, you heat it in a special way. Aluminum normally can't do this. Only metal can do it, but it would have been much too heavy with metal. It's a very difficult shape. If you look at this undercut, that's impossible without superform to get that level of shape. And the sill, because of heat, the exhaust runs through there. You had to make it out of metal. We tried other things, but it actually melted. There's so much heat coming out of there. And I'm a big believer that, especially with SRTs, if you're going to put scoops on a car, they better work. So this is actually a very functional part of the car. This Gilles, which has been a symbol of the Viper's design forever, we've actually really kind of pushed it this time, really making it a whole part of the body side. That line that comes out of the scoop goes all the way here, kind of crosses over and becomes a shoulder. So it really creates a very dramatic line. And part of it splits away here, creating this elongated DLO. We added this is functional. So the air doesn't pull the brakes, actually pulls the differential. The air goes through the filler all the way down. The differential gets very hot in a high-performance vehicle because it's working overtime. When you're turning the car, you're putting so much power through this. We actually run air because that differential is so isolated inside the car. It doesn't get any cooling naturally. So we force air this way, it cools it off. The brakes, even though they need cooling, the rear brakes don't work anywhere near as hard as the front, so they don't require as much. We brought back the double roof. Try to get as much height as we can. We've increased the overall room for the tall guys. Big complaint is the old car was sitting inside. We've added about 30 millimeters of overall height. We changed the bulkhead a lot, so we've got about 90 millimeters of travel. So by going to the shell seats and the increased room, we have a much more better situation. Seats are lighter, they're cooler looking, they keep you in place. We'll talk about the interior in a second.
You still on your legs?
No, much better. We've managed the installation. I don't know if anyone's wearing this. The lawyer's been saying. So anyway, a lot of the lines. The cars that are parked next to each other really sound different. The only one manufactured. See, the back window is now a plan view.
Gotta stand back here.
Of course, that makes the shoulder very strong. What we've done here is we're taking the shoulder and really amped it up a lot. When you look at the car on the freeway, when you finally see it on the road.
What about all the development rooms? I've seen the yellow ones that have been running around Detroit and all that.
Any wider than we have to run the clearance test for the car. They like to see on big trucks. So it's right at the maximum in terms of width. The beautifully sculpted. And then finally, this wing, we've been playing with the height. The production car is actually taller. This is a show car. It's slightly taller for aero. We've been tweaking. This part of the car is one of the most critical for high-speed stability, and also for the look of the car. I love the way that looks, where you have a continuous line from one side of the vehicle all the way around to the other. It makes it look very wide, beautiful.
The traction,
The goal with this car was to make it,
especially like high-speed turns.
hopefully it'll look good for many years. We'll be at a car show like this 10 years from now.
Yeah, I see a lot of carbon fiber here too.
We use it here. It's functional. It's all real. All the carbon is real. Actually, this panel and the hood are all carbon fiber.
Wow.
But we don't expose it because it's very difficult to get that much carbon fiber to be Class A. So it is carbon fiber. In the future, we can look at organizing carbon fiber in such a way that we could actually show it off. So we'll keep that as an option. This on the GTS carbon fiber, on the regular SRT version of this car, it's body. You can have it either way. So this time around, we have a lot more choices. We have multiple interior, multiple exterior stripes. We're gonna have a lot of fun making this vehicle very custom.
The incredible interior.
Oh, I think the key is not
The keys are in it.
I don't know there, but anyway, the interior fully redesigned, 100% new. It's all leather wrapped this time around, so every surface is wrapped, whether it's high-grade vinyl and on the GPS, 100% leather on the interior. It gives you the car the phenomenal smell. You ever store an older car and you open the door, you smell that incredible leather. A lot of people don't drive these cars much more than once a month or something. So it really gives you a sense of occasion.
Except the ones who live in the South.
Really about really taking the execution level to a world-class level. So we're excited to finally have something that kind of shows off a lot of the best parts of the new pricing.
Being part of the Ferrari group, being part of
I get in
Fiat.
trouble when I talk about
No, being part of Fiat actually helps. Like, I think you source the same seats from Ferrari?
Just Belt is the supplier, but that's really it. I don't want to kind of, mislead anyone to think Ferrari helped us with that. They have their own projects, we have our own projects. But people may think that on the internet, hey, part of the group, they expect certain levels, but the way I look at it, we have to bring our game up so that we can be set in the same, why not? One day have two people, one guy has a Ferrari, one has a Viper, and they're hanging out talking about it and love both cars. So it's all good.
But the Grand Cherokee actually helps with the Maserati too, right?
Whatever. It's all in the family.
Thank you. So we just grab a few pictures.
Thank you.